Mr. Men and Little Miss Save Christmas by Adam Hargreaves. Little Miss Star loved Christmas trees. Mr. Greedy loved mince pies. Mr. Cool loved Christmas presents. And Little Miss Fun liked a Christmas party. And Little Miss Tiny loved everything about Christmas. Everyone liked Christmas. Or did they? There's only one person I know who does not. Mr. Grumpy. Mr. Grumpy hated Christmas. Tinsel sent him into a frenzy. I'll make this thing a party if I got to!
What's wrong, Mr. Grumpy? Don't you like Christmas?
Leave me alone, Little Miss Tiny, or I'll bring you! He could not bear the sound of carol singers. He hated the sound of Christmas trees. Christmas stockings sent him into a rage. Christmas presents made him stamp his feet in fury. Mrs. Grumpy hated Christmas so much that he even refused to believe in Father Christmas. Father Christmas thought it was hilarious. Ho, ho, ho! I'll ho-ho-ho you in a minute. Oh, goodness me, that didn't turn out well, didn't it?
Aw, don't worry, Santa. I still believe in you.
Each year, Mr. Grumpy grew to hate Christmas a little bit more. Until last year, he just could not bear the thought of another Christmas. So much so that he devised a plan to cancel Christmas. You heard right. A plan to cancel Christmas. On the 1st of December, he opened all the doors on all the advent calendars. Then he banged his drum so loudly no one could hear the carol singers. Ban Christmas! Ban it all! It's a stupid holiday, no one cares about it!
Uh-oh, I don't like the looks of this, little Miss Sunshine. Neither do I, little Miss Tiny. We must stop them before it's too late.
He unscrewed all the bulbs in the Christmas lights. He snipped off the ends of all the Christmas stockings. He chopped up all the Christmas trees. That's a chip off the old block. He knocked all the berries off the holly. He pulled all the bangs in the crackers, and he filled the mince pies with toothpaste. Oh, I don't like toothpaste mince pies. That's the second time that's happened to me.
I can't eat nice pies with toothpaste in them. It doesn't taste good.
He unrolled all the sticky tapes so that nobody could wrap a present. And then, for good measure, he told everyone what their presents were. Alright, Little Miss Tiny, you get a pine cone tree. Little Miss Bossy, you get a megaphone. Mr. Song got a heavy barbell. Mr. Happy got something really funny, I guess. Mr. Perfect got I don't know what it were, but it must have been very good for him anyway. Little Miss Helpful, I don't know what you got, and I don't care about it. Mr. Funny got a joke book and it's rubbish. Well, I never! I should get my hands on you, you bad-tempered man!
No, Mr. Grumpy, you can't tell everyone what they got.
Well, that's not funny!
What? Mr. Grumpy, how could you tell everyone what I got? This is disgraceful!
Uh-oh, that's bad.
Well, ain't that a fine kettle of fish? Looks like I'd better try again.
That's my perfect Christmas ruined. He removed all the Christmas wreaths from everyone's front doors. He released all the turkeys on Farmer Field's farm. Go turkeys, you're free now. And finally, he blocked up all the chimneys, just in case Father Christmas was real. Christmas was cancelled. That was a real corker, wasn't it? After all his hard work, Mr. Grumpy sat back in his chair in Gloom Cottage, looking very pleased with himself. Suddenly there was a knock at the door. It was the very sad-looking Little Miss Tiny.
Please, Mr. Grumpy, won't you stop canceling Christmas?
She pleaded.
Everyone is so unhappy, even Mr. Happy.
And a large tear rolled down her cheek.
Say what?
Snapped Mrs. Grumpy.
If you would only try to proper Christmas, you would realize how wonderful it is.
Sniffed Little Miss Tiny. No! Exclaimed Mr. Grumpy, and he slammed the door in Little Miss Tiny's face. But Little Miss Tiny was not one to give up. The next day, she went round and knocked on Mr. Grumpy's door again and pleaded her case. And the next day, and the next day, and the day after that. And when she wasn't knocking on his door, she walked up and down outside his house chanting,
What do we want? Christmas! What do we want it now?
and by the end of the week, Mr. Grumpy was a lot grumpier. But he was also worn out. And worn down.
Okay!
He cried,
I'm sorry, Christmas, but if I take what I can help me need more Christmases ever!
Little Miss Tiny clapped her hands with glee and set about restoring Christmas. Little Miss Neat screwed and all the light bulbs back in. Miss Messie's sticky fingers wrapped all the presents. Shazam, that's better! Little Miss Quick rounded up all the turkeys.
Come along now, turkeys, let's get it back into your little pens before it's too late.
Mrs. Strong fetched a fresh batch of Christmas trees from the mountains. Ha ha! I pine for it all! Ha ha! Little Miss Busy baked new Miss pies. Little Miss invented knitted new stockings on her knitting machine.
My Knitomatic 8000 will make sure these stockings are hung up by every fireplace flue with care, in hopes that St. Nicholas will be there.
Mr. Rush rehung all the Christmas wreaths and holly. There we go, it's all hung up now! And Mr. Tallum blocked all the chimneys. There we go, now Santa can get back in.
That's better, Mr. Tall.
Christmas was back on. Little Miss Tiny gathered all her friends to the most Christmassy lunch that you could ever imagine. But what would Mr. Grumpy think of it all? He sat in the midst of the joyful gathering like a dark cloud on a sunny sky. Little Miss Tiny nervously offered him a mince pie, and he grudgingly put it into his mouth and chewed. If truth be told, Mr. Grumpy had never actually tried a mince pie. He had just assumed he would not like them. He ate it all, and then a second one. Little Miss Tiny smiled to herself.
See, Mr. Grumpy? It's not so bad after all, is it?
It's actually not that bad, really. See, they're not bad, really. That's much better.
By Jupiter! It seems as if Mr. Grumpy is warming up to a mince pie. And if I'm not wrong, he'll be in the festive spirit in no less than a nanosecond.
Then Mr. Grumpy listened to a Christmas carol. And again, he had never actually listened to a Christmas carol. And he always stuffed cotton wool into his ears as soon as he heard the first note. His foot began tapping along to the music. He warily opened a Christmas present. He'd never opened a present before. He always threw them in the bin, unopened. The glimmer of a smile appeared at the corner of Mr. Grumpy's mouth. He gave a present. And, of course, this is something that Mr. Grumpy had never dreamed of doing in the past. Little Miss Tiny thanked him so much as he smiled. There you go, little Miss Tiny. Do you like it?
Thank you, Mr. Grumpy. I knew you could do it.
He pulled a cracker. He wore a paper hat. He read out a bad joke and laughed. It's actually not bad, that. Mr. Grumpy actually laughed. It was down and grinned. To his surprise, Mr. Grumpy even enjoyed the company of the laughter and the chatter. Mr. Grumpy had only ever been on his own at Christmas. By the time Mr. Grumpy tucked into the turkey and his trimmings, he was definitely what might be described as jolly. And he was positively beaming as he gobbled up his Christmas pudding. That's proper good, that. There's plenty more where that came from.
Enjoying your Christmas pudding, Mr. Grumpy?
Tell you all, Miss Tiny, it's well good. Oh, thanks for making this. Mr. Grumpy was in such a good spirits that after lunch he sat and admired the Christmas tree. Ah, well, I never, he said to little Miss Tiny as the evening drew in. Tell you what, I like Christmas.
I knew you would.
Said little Miss Tiny.
And I have one more surprise.
There was a jingle of bells outside and then a knock at the door.
Mr. Grumpy, meet Santa Claus.
Cried little Miss Tiny. Mr. Grumpy suspiciously eyed Father Christmas up and down. Is that your beard, mate? He said. And then he tugged on Father Christmas's beard. Oh! Cried Father Christmas, whose beard, as you know full well, is as real as he is. Oh, you're a mean one, Mr. Grumpy. You telling me?